So rent to own has become popular again with the home prices being so crazy and down payments being very difficult to save for. Rent to own, or what used to be called lease purchase agreements or lease purchase options, have become very popular things for potential buyers. I've had a lot of people who have called me and asked me, do you have any properties that are set for rent to own or a lease purchase type of agreement? But if you're a potential buyer, is a rent to own situation actually good for you? What are the upsides? What are the downsides? Today, we're going to talk about that. My name is John Trigg. I'm the Montco Realtor, and I sell real estate here in Montgomery County, PA, just outside of Philly. I cover the whole surrounding area, Montgomery, Bucks, Berks, Chester, Lehigh, and Philadelphia counties. So if you're ever in the area, drop me a line. We'll get together, have a cup of coffee, and we'll talk houses. Today, we're talking rent to own and whether or not it's a good idea for you or if you should steer clear and run the other way. Okay, so what is a rent to own or a lease purchase? Typically what it is a contract and an agreement. It's an option to purchase a house for a set price 3, 4, or 5 years from now. And that price gets determined generally at the signing of the lease. Now, there are some times when they'll use a future appraisal where they'll say the price is to be determined at a later date, but generally the owner of the property is going to want that price to be determined today using speculative pricing. There is a strong likelihood that when it comes time to do the actual purchase, the property is way over potential fair market value. Now, these scenarios generally work well for two sets of people. Number one, anyone who's having a hard time saving money for their down payment, because a portion of your rent gets automatically adjusted to your down payment savings during the course of the lease. And the second one is anyone who's in the process of rebuilding or repairing their credit. Maybe they're having a hard time. They can't get approved for a mortgage now, but they love this particular home and the owner is willing to do a rent to own for them so they can actually get in, start living there while rebuilding their credit to get a mortgage at a future date. Those are typically the most popular scenarios for people who do a rent to own type of a transaction. So what are the upsides? Because there are a few. Number one, you're generally able to save a much larger amount of money to put towards your down payment. Number two, no moving expenses. You already live there, so you don't have to worry about that. Number three, you already know you love the house because you've been living in it for 3, 4, maybe even 5 years by that point. So you're already comfortable with the property itself. Number four, it gives you plenty of time, more than enough time, to fully repair your credit so that you can qualify for a great mortgage down the road, whether it's 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. Typical leases on this situation are about 3 to 5 years. And number five, if the property grows in value beyond the agreed upon price, you get to move in with instant equity in the property. So there are some potential upsides. Now, let's talk about some of the downsides. Number one, generally in these contracts, if the buyer fails to perform in any way, which includes late rent or missing a rent payment, they forfeit all of the accrued monies that have been saved for them. Number two, typically your rent is much higher. So let's say you're looking at a place where the rent that they're asking is $2,000 a month. In order to do a lease purchase or a rent to own, the owner is going to say, well, we'll do that, but I want my rent payment solid. I'm not going to allocate money for that. So if you want to do that, then your rent will be $2,200 or $2,300 or $2,400 a month. So one of the big risks and downsides is you're paying well over market rent to get a home in a few years that you hope is going to continue to accrue in its value. Number three, generally with these contracts, the buyer is responsible for paying the property taxes. The buyer is responsible for paying the maintenance on the property. The buyer is responsible for paying the insurance on the property. And this is during your lease term. This isn't at the end when you finally buy the property. Of course you do it then, but usually with a rent to own, they assign those to the potential future buyer up front. Number four, one of the biggest risks, the market takes a severe downturn and the property isn't worth anywhere near the money that you're about to purchase it for. So you go negative equity for however long it happens to be. And what you thought was going to be a $400,000 house is now worth $330,000. So one of the biggest risks is that you lose the money. Let's say you're on a 3-year lease purchase. At the end of 3 years, you've been working on your credit and you're getting better, but you're unable to secure the financing necessary, whether it be for the amount of money needed or just in general, the credit isn't good enough to get the loan itself. If you're unable to secure financing at the end of the term, you forfeit all of the money that has been saved on your behalf.
Are you kidding me?
So there is a major risk of losing all of your money and still not getting the house. if you're going to do a rent to own, you have to really set your life up for at a minimum the next 5 years. And that's because typical contracts are 3 to 5 years. So even if you do a 3-year, you need to be looking at least 5 years in the future. Otherwise, the costs and the losses can really start to stack up.
Write that down, write that down!
Rent to own is the best case scenario almost every time for a seller. It's not always a good option for a buyer. It's not set up to be a good option for a buyer. It's designed to try to give you an assist, but with the potential burden being much greater than the potential upside, in my opinion. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm John Trigg, the Montco Realtor. I'll see you guys next time.